everybody, Felicia here with a scrapbook layout. And that first photo that you saw at the beginning is of me scrap lifting myself. By me, I'm sorry. That wasn't me. That is a picture of my granddaughter Faith. Anyway, so I am going to be scrap lifting myself, and that's what that photo was at the beginning. That's what it was all about. So what I did was I decided to go through my old scrapbooks and look for some ideas, some help, something to spur me in the right direction of creating different kinds of layouts. And so what I realized is that I have not been paying attention to too many of the details. When I look back at my old layouts, there's so much detail on them, and I am really impressed on the detail that is on there, because I don't do that now, and I wish I had continued to do that. So after kind of studying my own layouts and everything, I decided to go ahead and scrap lift myself to see where the missing link was for why I'm not being as detailed as I could be on my layouts. Well, I found out that one, it is the details. I am not taking the time to really figure out the details. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I no longer create scrapbooking sketches. So scrapbooking sketches, they were very helpful to me. I mean, I did them all the time. I mean, it was not a time that went by that I did not do a scrapbooking sketch so that I can, get all the details included into my layouts. And so I looked at that and I kind of stared at it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I need to do this. I need to start looking at this. And so that was the first thing that I noticed. And then the second thing that I noticed was that, like I said, I need to take the time to look at my scrapbooking layouts. I need to figure out how I want them to look, what specifically the photos that I want to scrap, and how long will it take me. I need to figure that out. So it's the time. It's timing for me. So number one, it's the details. Number two is the scrapbooking, the sketches. And then number three is the timing. So if I put all three of those together, and I will be able to create the layouts that I want to create like I used to do in the past and things like that. So because when I looked at that whole entire album that layout at the beginning of the video you saw came from, I mean, there was so much details in some of those layouts. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing here lately? So, and I kind of have a feeling I know it. For me, it's just I wasn't paying any attention, So I just kind of wanted to kind of bring that. So if any of you are struggling with why your layouts aren't looking either like you want them to look, or how you think that they should look, or whatever the case may be, or you've forgotten your older layouts, pull them out. Pull out your older layouts. That's what I did. Pull out your older layouts and see what you could do different, what's missing, on your current layouts, or whatever the case may be. You'll figure it out, because that's what I did. I figured it out. I was like, okay, that's right. These all had sketches. And these were sketches that I created years ago, a lot of them, as the time went by. And I mapped out all the details in these sketches. And so when I put the layout together, it contained everything that I wanted that was on the sketch. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So right now what you're seeing me doing is I decided to do something a little bit different with this layout and add that doily on there. If you look at the circle in the back, because I'm trying to figure out and measure it here, the circle in the back has all the colors of the barrettes that are in her hair, and they all match, but it also has that black, and it kind of contrasts a little bit there, and I like that look. So this is when Faith she wasn't even 1 year old yet, and those cheeks, boy, I tell you, they were so juicy. Anyway, so what I also realized too is that I no longer am going to be joining any kits for a little while. I'm going to stay away from them, kit subscriptions, that is, because I have so much in this scrap room. It's ridiculous. And I want to make sure that I am at least using it instead of having them pile up because I don't have the time to do, use the kits or go through the kits. What I like the most right now is this Ali Edwards quarterly scrapbooking kit. This was a good idea for people like me who don't need to accumulate a bunch of stuff. So Ali Edwards has this thing where you get the scrapbooking kit quarterly. So that means every 3 months. And she's using the idea of shapes for this year, at least I know of. So the first one was hearts, which is the one I'm working with now, and the other one just came in the mail here the other week, and that one is the circles. And so I'm going to be booking with her kits, and of course I'm going to be still using her Allie Edwards. I'm on her what is that subscription there? Anyway, it's the story kit. There you go. I was trying to remember that. So I'm on the story kit subscription, and I have been with her since she started that story kit subscription with both the stamp and the kit itself. So I have accumulated quite a few of them, and I do use them, but I don't use them as fast as I would like to. So that is another thing that I'm going to take the time to invest in, is getting through some of those kits and using them. So now that you see me do that, and that's my story right now, I'm sticking with it no matter what. I don't need anything else in this scrapbook room for a while. I've been scrapbooking for over 2 decades, and so I need to make sure that I'm going to use the stuff. So if you ever see my scrap room tour video, that is over 2 decades worth of stuff. Trust me, it didn't happen overnight. It took 2 decades. And I remember I started out with a box that had one punch in it, and that was the shape of a flower, a pair of decorative edge scissors, some die cuts that were more cartoonish than anything else, some papers, a photo album. An album, a 12 by 12 album came in there. A glue stick actually came in there. Some frames, and that was pretty much it. The kit didn't have what we have now, which is what I'm working with, as you see in this layout: acetate hearts, chipboard, cork, all that stuff. They didn't come with all of that. That was the very first kit that I ever bought, and I actually bought it at a Target. And because I wanted something different, I didn't want to put my photos in a traditional photo album. I wanted to do something different, and so that's when I started. So that was like over 2 decades ago, and I still have that punch to this very day. I do, and I keep it for sentimental reasons. I don't necessarily use it, but it's there for sentimental reasons. And I still have the decorative edge scissors too. That's hilarious. Anyway, so and you know what? As kind of think about it, I think I might even have some of the die cuts. I think I do. I really do. Unless I gave those away. I have to look and see. But anyway. So I'm making this layout a little bit different. The strip is not going to go all across the bottom there like like on the original. I'm adding some washi tape, of course. I am not adding any sequin stars, but I am adding chipboard hearts, felt hearts, plastic hearts, and acrylic hearts. Because that is the kit. The kit is hearts, and so that's what I'm doing with this one. And so if you want to actually take the time out to figure out, some things about your own scrapbooking or whatever, I suggest just go, like I said, go through your albums, go back and look at them and check them out and see what you, just see how you did. And then, some of my scrapbooking layouts date back to over 2 decades ago, and they're not worth going back and looking at right now because they were a little bit different. They were more of like a collage type of deal when I first started, and I cut every picture using the decorative edge scissors. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh. And I remember that was really old school stuff. So now we don't do that. I still have those decorative edge scissors. They're in a box on the shelf, but I don't use them anymore. So, I let the grandkids use them when they come by and they want to get fancy and stuff and they want to craft. I let them use them. So, and then that's a good thing is I at least, they at least found a way of being used through my grandchildren. So right now, so anyway, so let's see. I am almost done with this. I'm using some of that those foam thickers, which I really like. Those are kind of cool. I haven't used those in a while, so I decided to dig them out and use them. And the title is right. I'm Smitten, and those cheeks, oh my gosh, those cheeks were something else. I remember that. So she was such a chunky little baby at that time. Anyway, so let's see. So now that I've covered this layout with hearts, nothing but hearts, I am going to be putting some chipboard hearts down as well. And I'm putting them on the layout to kind of, give it some more embellishments to pretty much just to look at. And I'm going to add this strip to break it up down the bottom because it needs something down here, and I realized that. So, and this is what I mean by the details. When you take the time and you kind of sit back and look at what you know, have and what you have in front of you, you will see what you need to add. I know there's been times when I continue to add stuff for some unknown reason, because for some unknown reason I felt that I needed to continue to add stuff. I don't know why I did that, but that's what I did. So, anyway, I don't do that anymore. I kind of sit back and see what the layout needs, and then what it needs and how it will be pleasing to the eye or resting to the eye. That's all what I think about when I'm doing my layouts now, and adding some fun to it as well. So I'm journaling here on that card that I put those lines on that you saw. And that's the one thing I've learned, is that you can journal on any 3x4 card that you want. And you really can. You just pick out what you want and then use that, what's on the card, as just the background. So I'm glad I was able to do that with this card. So I am pretty much done with this layout. I see I'm going to be sprinkling some of the Heidi Swapp Black Velvet Mist on here, which I still have some of. I think this is the last of it, because I bought a whole bunch of these bottles and I've used the crap out of them. So I'm sprinkling some of that on, and I am about done. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and be sure to check out Allie Edwards. This is not a paid advertisement or anything, but she really has her scrapbooking kits are really cool, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care, and have a great and wonderful rest of your scrappy week. Bye-bye.